Yeah. So, hello, people out there waiting for us for this session on Master of Science in Ivy League. So, today with us we have Abhishek Sansalwal. I would like to first thank him to coming on this session and talking about the experience he had while getting the admit. So, yeah, first I would like Abhishek to introduce himself, and then we will continue further. So, yeah.
Yeah. First, thank you so much for inviting me. And thank you for everyone who's watching this right now. I'm Abhishek Sansanwal. I'm an incoming grad student at Cornell University. And I'm currently working as a product manager at Nutrify.
Okay. So, in the first thing, I would like to ask like the graduate admits is a tiring process. It takes a lot of time and effort. So, what was your timeline for it? How did you segmented it out for different things you need to do while they admit? And if you can
Mhm.
tell things about that.
Yeah, for sure. I think the first thing in my whole process was probably the test, the exams, GRE and TOEFL. Um, And a few days before that, I started shortlisting universities because we can send scores to 4 schools for free when we take those exams. So, yeah, I think around August is when I started sort of shortlisting schools and also scheduled my exams towards the end of August, which I don't recommend. Please do it in July, June, so you have enough time for other things. But yeah, my timeline looked something like this. In August, I took the TOEFL and the GRE exam. Um, then, right when it ended, I focused on university shortlisting um, more because I had like 15, 20 schools that I wanted to apply to, but obviously, like I need to be more specific with where I apply. So I spent some time on that, and I also started working on my statement of purpose because that, according to me, is probably the most important part of the whole application. So yeah, around in September, I started working on the SOP. I also reached out to my recommenders to let them know that, hey, can you please recommend me to for this graduate program? And I think towards the end of September or in October, that's when I was like, okay, this is a good SOP, and I've got my LORs ready from the recommenders. Now I just need to apply. But still, like you're not satisfied with the SOP until the day that you apply to different schools. So I took more time working on that. And in November, I started applying to schools. So November and
Okay.
December, these 2 months, I applied to programs.
Okay, so as you told about the timeline, you mentioned the point where the shortlisting is an important part because you can't apply to all the colleges. So, what were the
Yeah.
parameters to choose this country and the college where you need to apply? So, how
Mm,
did you check upon that?
yeah, I think for me, I never really thought about going to any other country for studies. I mean, US has the best schools, and I've always heard like US education system, maybe not the best, but like for grad schools at least, it's a really good place to be. And also like all the engineering management programs, that's the field that I will be joining in August at Cornell. Most of the engineering management programs are in the US. Like in Europe, they're majorly focused more towards management, but I wanted to have both tech and management. So that's why I made this firm decision of applying to only US. And also because I don't want to settle in the US, I would later on like to move to Europe, to Northern Europe, Sweden, Norway, those Scandinavian countries. So I thought, how about I explore US first before moving there? So that was
Yeah.
my decision with country. And about universities, I just searched on Google top 50 programs, engineering management and information systems, closely related fields. And then I made this spreadsheet with literally 50 programs in there, different schools, different programs. And then I just kept shortlisting it like 50 to 25, then 20, then 15. And after taking the GRE, I finalized 9 schools that I ended up finally applying to. And yeah, that's how I went about it. I first, those 50 schools, that is like common for everyone. That's how we should start because you would want to get into the best school, right? So just start with a big list, then keep narrowing it down, and that you can do by actually checking out the websites, the program website, and see if you that's what you are looking for. and what it offers. So that's how I
Okay.
went about it.
Yeah. So, and the next part was like about Ivy League. So, as I say, that program and that college is more of a competitive nature, and it involves things like you need to be something out of the box, something different from others, because college needs to know what you can bring to the course. So, how did you plan that out in that particular course? How did you crafted your profile for that, and from when you
Um,
started on that part?
got it. It's,
Yeah.
for me, I think my whole like journey, it kind of had been aligned with this grad program since the beginning, or well, maybe like my journey led me to applying to this program and now actually joining it. Um, yeah, I just did like various things related to the field that I wanted to work in. So when I began, it was software development. So I did a bunch of internships in that. I realized that there's not much of a tech scene in my college, so I started an organization called IOSD in my college, and yeah, I did multiple internships. I worked with Amahi in Google Summer of Code. I worked with a bunch of different companies. Then I shifted to product management. Well, before that, I also started a company called Verved. So, like, I just kind of kept exploring different things to see what I like. And then towards the end of third year, I was very firm that I want to work in the product management space. And so from that point, it was evident that I need to apply to engineering management programs because they're very, very closely related.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, that's how it was. So I kind of used my tech experiences plus a little bit of business experience and also the motivation that I want to switch careers from software, from engineering to management.
Okay, so like I believe the curiosity part inside you helped a lot in developing your profile for the course.
Yeah, for sure.
And just a side note, like if someone is in like his second year or third year of course, and he didn't build his profile for this particular program, what would be your insights and advice for him or her to develop his profile on this particular course or the course you want to get in?
I think like if you're in second year, you have plenty of time because that's when you first year is just trying different things, and if you listen to your seniors, they'll tell you just enjoy life, don't even worry about anything. But yeah, first
Yeah.
year is when you should really explore, try different things to kind of lay out this future path for you that you would like to get into, that you like to walk on. But let's say if you're in third year, then you really have just one summer time to actually like build your profile, because towards the end of your
Yeah.
in your fourth year, seventh semester is when you start actually like
Start
applying to
applying.
schools and start the whole process basically. So if you're in third year, I would say probably if you have not done a lot of things by now, at least you'd have an idea what you want to get into. And since you want to do a grad school, if you want to do a master's, you must know what field you want to do that in, and just do things that would kind of align with that master's. So for example, for someone in computer science space, it could be doing an internship if their program is industry oriented, or if their program is research based, then to spend summers working under some professor, or apply to some research programs here in India or abroad. There's a lot of them. So just do anything that would kind of align with what you want to do, what you want to study at in the grad school, and also what you want to do after grad school, because that's like the connecting point that you write in your SOP. Like for me, it was product
Okay.
management, so I wrote that after graduating I would like to work as a product manager in my SOP. So that's what I would recommend. It could be anything, but just make sure that it's
Okay.
related to your profile and it adds some value. Yep.
So it should be like connecting all the dots and for the future. That makes
Yeah.
sense in the long run.
And also connecting the dots.
Okay, so coming back, yeah,
Do watch Steve Jobs talk at Stanford. It's very popular. You can find it on YouTube. Just search Steve Jobs Stanford. You'll find the talk. It will
yeah,
help you a lot with your
I heard
stuff.
about I heard your TEDx where you talk about certain things. It was with you were taking some 13 minutes about talking about life. I heard that
Yeah,
talk before the session. So yeah, it was inspiring. And
yeah,
apart from that, in the admit part, you said like SOP and LO are the crucial aspects. So how should one go about different both the things? If you can get more detail about it.
yeah, for sure. So when you're writing your SOP, how I started was I opened the notes application on my MacBook and I noted I made these like checkpoints of all the things that I had done in my last 4 years during my bachelor's, starting from joined MSIT, my college, and then started this organization, did this first internship, or completed this course, whatever it is, be it very small or be it something very big. Like I noted down all the awards I got and stuff like that. I even noted down like content creator, YouTube, whatever it is. Like just note down your whole story, whatever you've been doing the last 4 years, and then what you need to do is kind of write a story. So what I mean by that is like, let's say a kid was born, then he did this, he did that, and then he became the king of this empire, then he died, something like that. So what I mean by that is you need to have a flow to your SOP. That's why it helps if you write that list in chronological order, and then you have to start writing the SOP, and that's when you begin. The first paragraph, the first line will probably be something catchy. In my case, it was "Don't build a resume, build a life." That was the title of my first TEDx talk. So this whole line was my first line. It's kind of catchy. It's kind of cool. It makes the reader want to go further and get to know about me. Um, and then it's just like you have to follow this structure of SOP where first you give an introduction. So tell a little bit about you, what you do. Like I graduated from this school. Um, and I did this, I did that, maybe any organization, societies you were a part of, and then move on talking about, like, for example, internships, or if you're too much into research, talk about your projects. And then another paragraph talking about the same things, or maybe how that kind of led you to joining a grad school at this point, and also talking about how grad school will help you achieve your future goals and what are those goals. And after that, talk about why this school, why this program. There's a lot of schools that you could apply to. Why our school and why this specific program? So that's how you should structure your SOP. It's nothing too like it's nothing very tough. It's no rocket science, but you need to follow the structure and also have this flow. That's what sets your SOP apart from other generic SOPs. And talking about LOR, again, LOR is super important because you can write anything in the SOP. LORs is where they actually like validate all the things that you've mentioned in the SOP. So make sure that you get LORs from people that you've actually closely worked with, and don't go for titles like founder or CEO of your company, CTO of your company, or head of the department or director of your college. Don't go for the titles. If the person knows you well, they could be assistant professor or anyone, even your supervisor if you're working at a company. So yeah, um, yeah, I mean that's it. Just tell them that you're going for this program and let them know what to kind of like what to talk about in the LORs.
Okay, so jotting all things down, it would be like in the SOPs, it should have the human touch while, you know,
Yeah.
going to bring that a story.
And
So, yeah,
also one more thing, do know that your resume and your SOP are two different things. I know a lot of people, what they do is they take their resume and then look at it
just
and then write the SOP. Okay, this is the experience, put it there. This is the award, put it there. Don't do that. I mean, you are submitting your resume, so that is part of the application. You don't need to repeat it and just kind of
yeah.
extrapolate your resume on that SOP paper. So don't do that. Write a completely different document, and also know that resume is just a like list of the things you've done, the best of what you've done, but SOP is your whole story, so you need to pour your heart out, kind of.
Okay, so it involves much deeper introspection than a resume.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and the other part would be like, I want to get some point from that line which you added, the catchy part of your SOP. So, how did you want to tell to future aspirants about it? And what exactly you meant by that?
So I added that line because I wanted to one I'm really proud of my TEDx talk because I used to watch all these talks whenever I was like feeling down. I would look up on YouTube TEDx talk and stuff like that. So yeah, that's one thing that I'm really proud of and grateful for. And I wanted my admission officers or like the admission committee to don't miss that part. And so I thought, okay, I need something catchy. I'll give them something catchy. I'll just put my line that I've always been saying: "Don't build a resume, build a life." That would one kind of make them think, dude, you're applying to a grad school, you're applying to an institute, and you're saying don't build a resume. So that would kind of make them curious, and also like
Okay.
that was the whole point. So yeah, I just added that to kind of catch attention. I know like not obviously like not a lot of people would have something like that. Not they would not have some TEDx talk or any like talk or such catchy lines that they can just put there and relate their whole story to it. But you can also go for like generic quotes from maybe I
Hmm.
won't recommend this. You know, I know a lot of people do this, like they put a quote by a famous scientist or someone. Don't do it, but yeah, just think about how you can, what unique can you put there. You know, if it's unique, if it's from you, then it's going to be different from others, because every year thousands of students apply to grad schools or undergrad, and they know when they see something that someone else might have written, they know it very easily. They have a lot of pleasures and softwares and things like that. So yeah, just think about
Okay,
your
so
own unique start.
that part should make just curious to read about you because there are a lot many
Yeah,
students.
yeah, just catch
Okay,
their attention. That's it.
yeah. So the next part would be like the different aspects of the grad admit. One would be the scores and the exams which you prepared. So how did you go about that? Because it's a process in that.
Yeah. So again, like it was like pretty straightforward. I need to take the exams, I need to write the SOP, I need to write the I need to get the LORs, I need to reach out to my recommenders. um and also it depends on the programs that you're applying to. Generally the requirements are the same for all programs, but still some schools might have extra requirements. Like Cornell had requirement to submit a technical paper, and something like that. If your program's research based, they might ask you to submit like some research paper or anything related to that. So yeah,
Okay.
the make sure that you look into the requirements of your school. And also I remember I kind of realized this after applying to schools, that I forgot to kind of obey their rules of writing the SOP, because they had like they had these rules: you should have this font, you should leave this much space, this much margin. So it's good to follow that. It just shows that you actually like was serious when applying, and you read everything about the application process. So
Okay.
do that. Yeah.
And what would be like the safest score or the score which one should target about getting these colleges like Ivy League or things?
I would say target 340, even if you're going for the safest of schools.
Okay.
um 340 is the maximum you can score in the GRE, but why I'm saying that is, if you target 340 and prepare that way, you're going to score your best, right? And you cannot get more than what you can do. We can, like, that's the best score that you can get. So just prepare
Okay.
for it really well. But again, to give a general answer, um it does depend on the program, but anywhere around 320 is safe for all schools. But I would say, especially for the very ambitious schools like some of the Ivies and Stanford, what you should do is probably try to score above 330. Because I remember the program that I applied to at Stanford, I got rejected from that program. And I strongly think that if I had a good GRE score, I might have
Okay.
gotten in. My GRE score was 319, and the average GRE score in that program is 330. So
Okay.
that,
So
yeah. It depends on your program. So what I would recommend is go to Yorkit or some website and just see what's the average profile of previous admits and try to score around that. But again, 320 is a safe bet to get into almost all safe schools and moderate schools and some of the ambitious ones.
Okay, so it can also help in building up the, if someone have low profile, the GRE can upgrade the whole admit part.
Yeah, for sure. It does help. But then again, don't go in with that mindset. Just go in with the mindset of getting a perfect score 340.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. And apart from that, I would like to ask the last few points. So one, after you did the whole process, you got an admit. What are the few points which you want to go back and amend or change, which one should also do while applying and have in head? Yeah.
I think from my journey, the only thing that I kind of would change is my GRE preparation, because yeah, I prepared for 3 days, hardly 3 days for the exam, and I got 319. If I had spent like 3 4 weeks or 1 month 2 months, I could have gotten above 330. And I just still think that I could have gotten into Stanford. I had everything but the GRE scores. So I kind of regret not preparing for the GRE, because see, one aspect of the application might carry more weightage, like SOP and LORs are probably the strongest component, but you cannot then kind of not focus on other aspects of the application, your
Yeah.
GRE score, or whatever it is. So yeah, that's what I would say. Don't really I mean, do know that SOP and LORs carry the most weightage, but if you really think about it, the first thing that these schools see is your GPA and your GRE scores. That's like the negative filtering criteria. So if you have those super low compared to the average profile, then it could kind of hurt your chances. So yeah, I think just make sure that you are doing. They are just giving your best into everything that you're doing. That's what I would say.
Okay, so it can kind of act like elimination process for their schools.
Yeah, it
Well,
does act like that for a lot of schools.
okay, so yeah, I think that was the thing which I need to talk about while talking in the MS and Ivy League. And you can also share how did you felt about this session and
It was good. It was very good. It's been a while. I really thought up and looked back on my journey of applying to school. So yeah, it was fun.
yeah, so if anyone wants to talk more about it and want to connect with you, they can connect to a LinkedIn. Did that work?
Yeah, for sure. You can connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram, Twitter, anywhere. But yeah, LinkedIn and Instagram are the best way. Just look up I Swift Shake. You can see it on the screen, or you can watch some videos on YouTube. I've
Yeah,
talked about
TEDx
some of
one
the
I
things
would
there.
recommend to people if they want to watch. So
Yep,
yeah,
awesome.
so can we end this session?
Yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for coming here and talking about things. It really helped people. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.